keeping players healthy. I don't like this team either, but I think they're better suited to win this game than the Jets are.
Neil perhaps is serving jury on the Redskins versus Trent Williams. That's why he's not with us this week. He's serving jury in Scotland. Someone joked in our Slack group if they wear the white wigs on the jury. Unfortunately, they don't, but they really should. They really should consider it moving forward. I think the entire jury needs to be wearing the old powdered wigs.
Oh, please no.
Oh, yes. And we should bring that to the Americas. I believe our judges should also be wearing white powdered wigs. It would be great. Neil, by the way, wrote in, week 11, soon this miserable season will be over. The good news, Haskell is the starter going forward. The bad news, pretty much everything else. Darius Geis will be back to boost the run game for approximately 10 plays before he gets re-injured. Then it'll be back to Peterson pounding the rock, and he can still do that pretty well. The O-line has settled down, and from left to right, Penn, Flowers, Roulier, Scherf, and Moses have been solid, certainly happier in the run game than in pass pro. Washington will pound the run game all day here, try and support Haskell, look for them to target runs to the right. Clearly, Scary Terry is our most dynamic player on offense. This could be a game where we see him get a couple of big receptions. Defensively, what we do well is inside pressure, and this could pay off against a poor Jets interior. However, if Sammy D can extend the plays, our coverage can become very sketchy. Is this the game M. Sweat hits his stride? No, because Old Spice is keeping him down, man. No sweat in the NFL. He's slowly improving and should have chances to get home from right outside linebacker. This game worries me in that we could bloody well win it. Jets 23, Redskins 24. Wow. Yeah. That would be bad, Neil, if you win this game, because that would definitely push the Jets closer and closer to a top pick. And the Jets are going to be the team that's going to trade away because they obviously don't need a quarterback, or at least we think they don't need a quarterback.
They don't need a quarterback. Unfortunately, Adam Gase has been given the confidence boost by management saying that he will be coaching next year in 2020. So sorry, Jets fans, more misery next year too.
Yeah, good luck with that. The Houston Texans are 6-3. They are right down the road from Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, Maryland, as the Baltimore Ravens are 7-2. The Ravens are, as we mentioned before, number 1 in the power rankings. The Texans somehow slid to 9th. I moved the Texans up. Listen, every top team last week lost. I don't know how the Texans, who were on a bye, ended up losing a spot. That makes no sense to me whatsoever.
I don't understand either, because I definitely moved the Texans up.
All right. The Ravens are favored in this game by 4. The other thing is, with all this talk about flexing that's been happening, there's a flex game next week, and then the Saturday, December 21st games were finally announced. I don't know how this game, Texans-Ravens on CBS, didn't get flexed. What's that, Don?
Protected by CBS.
Okay, it can be protected all it wants, but CBS should have at least flexed to the 4 o'clock, because it's a 1 o'clock game. And Romo and Nance are at the Patriots-Eagles. They're not at this game.
Well, right. I mean, that would be why they want to keep that game at 4 o'clock. That's a good. Yeah. That's potential candidate for a flex too. That's a big game.
Oh, I think CBS screwed up here, because Texans-Ravens, to me, is the game. It's bigger than the Patriots-Eagles. Who the heck?
It is.
Quite honestly, I mean, besides the fact that you're talking about Boston, Philadelphia versus Houston and Baltimore in terms of total number of interested viewers, in theory, this is a way better game. This is the game that I want, front and center to show off. You've got the 2 young guys, and I'm about to get into that. I mean, this is a great game. I mean, Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson are the first 2 players with at least 15 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns, and a passer rating of 100 or higher through their team's first 9 games of a season in NFL history, with 2 passing touchdowns on Sunday. Watson can become the 5th player in NFL history to have at least 20 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns through the team's first 10 games of a season in NFL history. 2 of the past 3 to accomplish the feat earned the MVP award that season. The 2 that did it, Roman Gabriel with the Rams in 1969 and Cam Newton in 2015. Dante Culpepper did it with the Vikings in 2000. So, I mean, you're looking at 2 potential MVP candidates in Lamar Jackson and Deshaun Watson.
Absolutely.
This game is humongous. Easily the game of the week. I'm hoping the Texans can beat the Ravens. I have to go though with the home field advantage. I just, and honestly, I think that's really the only difference. If this game was in Houston, I'd probably take Houston. This is going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch it. Although I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity. Right? Did we? Yeah, we have a Jets game. Dang it. Yeah. I'm not even going to get to watch this game. That's the other part that sucks about all this. I got to watch a stupid Jets-Redskins game. We're all taking the Ravens, Don. That should make you feel good.
Yeah, like I said, everybody's hopping on the bandwagon, but that's all right. I'll be there again on Sunday. It should be a fun game. I do owe our beer man in the stands $40 from last week. He was nice enough to spot me some beers so that I didn't have any cash on me. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Like, he knows that I'm going to be buying more beer and he knows I'll be there. So I don't think it's necessarily a good indication of my life at this point. But regardless of that, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, you have the storylines of the good young quarterbacks, the great young quarterbacks. For any fantasy fan out there, Lamar Jackson's on pace to break Mahomes' quarterback record for a single season in points. And what's amazing is that they both did that in their second years in the league. You know, Mahomes last year, obviously Lamar this year. I mean, he's been nothing short of fantastic, as everybody understands at this point.
That run last week, Don. Oh, that was video game, man.
Absolutely.
My fiance hears me laughing and giggling like a schoolgirl, and she wonders what happens, and then I rewind it and show her. She did not care, though.
No.
I tried to get her interested, but she just doesn't care.
Shame on her.
And that's what I say. The most interesting thing, I think, the X factor for this week, I think, will be on the opposite side, though, really the Ravens defense. DeAndre Hopkins has been good. He has not been like his, dominant self like he was last year, at least as far as, fantasy points go. But it'll be interesting to see how they can handle the Texans' hurry-up offense. I mean, the Texans are the most efficient hurry-up team in the league. Obviously, all the midseason changes on defense with the Ravens have worked out. I mean, they had back-to-back 500-yard games they gave up, and to now they're a little bit above middle of the pack now, and they've been doing a lot better. Chuck Clark at safety in place of Tony Jefferson has been a big deal. Has been a big deal in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the Texans may be forced to go into more hurry up if we can control the ball, because I don't have a lot of faith in the Texans defense. Humphrey on Hopkins will be the matchup to watch. But Carlos Hyde has been, resurrected from the grave. Carlos Hyde's been able to rip off some really good games this year, which is, surprising to a lot of people. But I mean, I think the Ravens will end up winning. I think it'll be a close game. I expect 30-27, 30-24 Ravens victory. Will not be easy, but I think will prevail, and that'll go a long way towards the playoff seeding as well as the year finishes up.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those games. It's going to be in one possession in the fourth quarter. This is not a game that while we're all taking the Ravens, I don't think any of us feel extremely confident in the Ravens will definitely win this game.
Yeah,
it should definitely be close. And
this is like one of the few games you didn't write lock on. You locked like every other game.
I can't. I couldn't lock this. I mean, you started with the quarterbacks. If anyone remembers that phenomenal college matchup between Clemson and Louisville when these two were there, I'm not saying it's going to be close to that as far as score, but as far as excitement and entertainment, it should be on pace with that. This is a game to look forward to, and not to take anything away from the defenses. I mean, just Marcus Peters has been playing great for Baltimore, and yeah, they've been giving up some rushing yards, but Houston's lost Watt for the year, and the pass rush is kind of like taking a step back. So if either of these quarterbacks gets any time to throw / scramble and do something in or out of the pocket that makes your eyes pop out of your head, it'll be worth it.
The important part that you mentioned there, James, is the throwing. And I don't want that to go underreported. While both these guys have the at least five rushing touchdowns on the year, both of them are over 100 in quarterback ranking, and that's all about throwing the football.
Absolutely. And granted, yeah, the Houston Texans had a bye week, but if you watch Deshaun Watson, and Watson's not even running that much. Most of his touchdown runs are pretty much from like 5 yards inside deep in the red zone. So you're looking at QB sneaks, maybe some read option just to, fool the defense because it spread them out. Lamar Jackson last week, I believe, was 15 of 17 for like almost 250 yards last week, and he didn't even play in the fourth quarter. So
he had two incompletions, and one of them was a spike.
That is and that is the one thing I would caution for you, Don, is your Ravens are getting cocky, and that's never good.
Whoa. Cocky.
Yeah, I think they Wink Martindale had a press conference, and there was a lot more press guys there, and he's like, "Oh, a lot more crowded here. It must be like the Lamar Jackson effect." But I don't see it coming from Lamar. I mean, he just focused. All he cares about is winning and winning Super Bowls. So he doesn't give two Fs about players of the weeks and MVP stuff. So at least from the outside, he seems to be super focused on winning by any means necessary. Which I don't mind some brashness, but yeah, I don't think it'll go to their heads. But we'll see as we go along.
What do we have for injury report here, James?
Big name showing up for the Ravens. Chris Moore, Marquise Brown, wide receivers listed as questionable, thumb and ankle respectively. Earl Thomas, safety, also showing up on the injury report for Baltimore. For the Texans, Ira Savage-Lewis, defensive end. Will Fuller, wide receiver with a hamstring. Titus Howard, tackles, questionable. Dylan Cole, linebacker, also listed as questionable. And they placed Jordan Thomas, the tight end, on injury reserve with ribs.
We spent a lot of time talking about Colin Kaepernick, so we're running a little long. However, as we head into these 4:00 games, these next two games should be rather quick. The Arizona Cardinals 3-6-1. The San Francisco 49ers finally lose. They're 8-1. Niners fall from 3rd to 5th in the power rankings. The Cardinals are 25th in the power rankings. The Niners are favored by 11 in this game. Cardinals have won 8 of the last 9 times versus the 49ers, but San Fran beat them on Halloween 28-25, and the great Jimmy Garoppolo threw for a career high 4 touchdowns. I expect a repeat performance. We are all taking San Francisco. I dare say I'd lock this in, but this is one of those divisional matchups you just don't lock.
Yeah, and for your phenomenal Jimmy Garoppolo looked petrified to throw the ball when it counted most on Monday night. So,
but he threw it like crazy against the Cardinals in Arizona. Now he's in San Francisco. He's going to throw it tremendously.
I'd be careful about this game as well because it's a division game, and they just played these guys 2 weeks ago. Less than that.
George Kittle being out too. It's not going to help.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he got knocked out in this Arizona game. Yeah, I'm not worried.
He kept playing.
Okay.
But he's missed, last week and then this week.
Let me start with Frisco because you sound a little too confident about picking them to beat the Cardinals. So let me bring you down a notch with some of the injuries for the 49ers. Joe Staley, dislocated and fractured finger, will miss at least a couple of more games. So he's not playing this week.
Okay, that's not good.
D. Ford, quadriceps, questionable. Akila Witherspoon, foot, limited in practice. He's also questionable. Levane Tololo, inner thigh injury. He's limited in practice.
We're now worried about the Tulolo. Tulolo, who cares about Tulolo?
Garrett Selleck, back injury, limited in practice. He's questionable. Raheem Morstad, knee injury,